They don't think it's
Hi, and good morning, and welcome to the video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on, what is this, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
I
love it when the weeks fly by. Not the weekends. This weekend seems short, though. It was like, for me it did.
Yeah.
It felt short.
And it was confusing too, right? Because like Sunday, I was like...
It was confusing?
It was, because Sunday I'm like, is it Saturday? I don't have to work tomorrow, but wait, no, it's Sunday. It's Memorial Day. What day
I kept thinking yesterday. I kept thinking yesterday was Sunday all day long, and I was so excited because we had another episode of The Last of Us to see.
Womp,
Anyone?
womp.
Anybody?
Like 6 days too early for that. No.
All right.
Sorry.
So it was a video game, and now it's a world
I've seen the
renowned show.
Yeah.
You've seen the video game?
Yeah.
Is it a cool video game?
It's a very long video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Probably a lot of cut scenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like the storyline. So.
Oh, okay. You should watch the show. HBO Max.
Too poor for HBO.
Just find somebody's password.
Ray works at a nonprofit.
Oh, all right.
I can.
So not only do I not have any money, I have no friends because I never leave the office.
It is Tuesday, May 27th, and in the studios this morning we have Rhiannon Cizon, and she's from the Berrien County Historical Association.
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting that right? Yep. You're the executive director there. We're going to talk with her this hour about Berrien County's history and the History Association, Historical Association, what you have there, what you do there, and what help you might need, and how people can get engaged.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk about that. We also have Sarah Spoonholtz here from the Greater Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You guys got a huge grant last week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
$250,000 coming in.
Yeah.
Biggest grant the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber has ever received. Is that right?
To be fair, we've only been able to really receive grants for like the last 6 months.
Oh, really?
Well, not quite a year. Yeah, since we launched. Because 501c6 organizations are traditionally not eligible for grant dollars.
Okay.
But since we launched our foundation, which is actually, I guess, less than a year, it's more than 6 months, less than a year old.
Okay.
We've been able to receive grant dollars from that. So yeah, it's super exciting.
That's a huge help.
It is.
Yeah, and as Rhiannon said, getting big out of the gate, that's huge. $250,000 grant. What's next? $500,000?
I mean,
million?
Stay tuned.
$1 million. No, that's really good.
Big or go home.
And a lot of it is for those chamber growth alliances.
Correct.
With communities around Southwest Michigan, and I was really excited to hear about the Berrien Alliance that's coming together. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about all these things and more with these two low energy individuals. People are still talking about how hyper and loud you guys were last week.
Oh, and I wasn't even at full capacity last week. Bless them.
And Rhiannon, she's not on caffeine, so
no,
we have no idea what's fueling her. But if we could capture that, we could go to Mars.
Spite
in 30 days. No, all right. No, did you see this news article? Was it the Chinese or the Russians? One other country, not us, has. They say they've captured some sort of source of energy power that can make the trip from here to Mars in, what did they say, 30 to 60 days? Is that right? Something like that. Anyway, it used to be 5 years.
Right.
And now you can do it in a couple of months. That's what they're saying they have.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to volunteer myself to be the test.
Not be on that one.
Yeah, no thanks.
I think they'll put hamsters up first and then people. All right, it's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be back.
To lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now.
Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Okay, the computer is making a mind of its own. It probably got offended by the AI story I told last hour about how AI was rewriting its own instructions and not stopping. This happened. Yeah, there was a thing that happened on that. All right, so this hour, good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got news and weather coming up in just a moment. We also have guests in the studio. Sarah Spoonholtz is here to give us an update from the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. We also have Rhiannon Cizon here from the Berrien County Historical Association. So we'll be talking with those fine individuals in just a moment. First off, let's get a look at the weather. The forecast for today does call for mostly cloudy skies. There's a 40% chance of some rain showers developing in our area this afternoon. Breezy conditions, high around 72 inland, a little bit cooler by the lake. The wind gusts are going to come out of the east today, 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy, a 50% chance of showers and storms, a low around 55 overnight. East winds, again, still gusting up to 20 miles per hour tonight. Wednesday's forecast tomorrow, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, 50% chance of showers. High tomorrow around 66 and a low overnight of 55. Thursday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with only a 20% chance of showers and, again, a high around 66. It'll warm up by the time we get to the weekend. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Right now, let's get the latest news from our WSJM newsroom. It's Tuesday. I can't talk yet. We've got, Benton Township has a project to construct a sewer line under the St. Joseph River to allow for a direct connection to the joint wastewater treatment plant that's almost finished. And officials say things have been going very well. The Benton Township Board of Trustees recently heard from Steve Osting of engineering firm Prine and Newhoff that the biggest part of the work is now finished.
I'm pleased to report that the project has made substantial progress. The pipeline to be installed under the river is in fact now under the river. So that portion was successful. They're working on the east side of the river crossing presently in Riverview Drive.
Osting said what's left to do along Riverside is almost finished as well. However, there has been one slight complication. He said crews have discovered some groundwater contamination at the site of the plant, and that must be cleaned up. That meant a change order on the project or an increase in the cost of about $139,000. But then also came some more good news.
With the portions of the project that are already complete, those portions of the project have been completed at or even in some cases below the original contract amount.
Osting said because of the savings the project has thus far experienced, the change order won't actually cost the township anything more than originally thought, and the overall cost of the estimated $3.8 million sewer line has come in about $46,000 under budget. The purpose of the sewer line is to give Benton Township direct access to the treatment plant that's owned by Benton Harbor and St. Joseph. Currently, the township relies on the city of Benton Harbor for that connection. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources is now working on the next management plan for the Van Buren State Park near South Haven. It's asking for the public to weigh in. The management plans to help guide developments at the state parks for about 10 years at a time. And the DNR's Debbie Jensen tells us a draft plan for Van Buren State Park is now available. She says the document includes some projects that are already underway.
One of those is to work on the access to the swimming beach area, which, had some erosion to it a few years ago. And the other one, which isn't so exciting for the public, is we need to do some repairs to the sanitary system.
Jensen says the draft management plan also lays out some goals for the future years.
We do want to do some improvements to the trail system. We've already made some changes to our mapping to map some more of the trails that are used. We would love to do some interpretive signage and wayfinding signage.
They're also looking at improvements to the camping areas and the trailhead. Jensen says the DNR will hold a public meeting on June 3rd at the South Haven Township Hall from 6 to 7:30 p.m. to hear from users of the park. The public is invited to come chat with DNR planners and offer their thoughts. There are also an online survey. There is also an online survey available. We have a link at our website. That's at WSJM.com. The 400-acre Van Buren State Park offers a mile of Lake Michigan beach, towering dunes, a modern campground, trails, and a day use area. It also has trails that connect to several larger trail systems, including one that goes straight into the city of South Haven. And finally, the Cass County Board of Commissioners has selected its next county administrator. During a special meeting, the board unanimously moved to enter a contract negotiation with Patrick Jordan, who most recently served as county administrator for Ionia County. The board says it made its decision after an extensive review of more than 24 applications and a rigorous interview process that included 2 rounds of interviews with finalists and a town hall-style meeting. Board Chair Jeremiah Jones says the body looks forward to working with Mr. Jordan to continue building on the strong foundation already in place and welcome him to Cass County. The board received help in its search from the Michigan Leadership Institute. That's a look at some of the news that we have coming, or that is in the WSJM newsroom right now. I can't talk, Sarah. Help me out here. It was a long weekend, and as we already talked about, there was yard work involved and a few other things. So yeah.
And beets.
And beets. That's right. I made my I harvested. I did. I and kid you not, I harvested my beet kombucha, and I was telling the ladies here this morning that in messing around with the SCOBY, that's the symbiotic culture of bacterial yeast or something like that. Anyway, it's the thing that makes the kombucha.
My pay grade.
And I had roasted beets in the thing, and it's been sitting there for 10 days. Any drop of liquid that touched my skin immediately dyed it beet purple. It was beautiful, but it's finally gone. Yeah. So anyway, beets.
So you learned a very valuable lesson, like not
don't
only,
touch the beet stuff.
Kombucha can be made out of beets.
And it tastes good.
I was gonna say, I mean, after all, that was at least, did it taste good?
I really like it a lot, and I like the earthy taste of beets, but the notation on some of the research I did said if you're not so much for the earthy taste of beets, you can cut it with fresh ginger, and that will clean it up a little bit.
Interesting.
All right, we're going to talk about more important things here in just a moment. We're talking with Rhiannon Cizon. She's with the Berrien County Historical Association. We'll talk all hour about Berrien County history and some of the things that are happening at the museum, right?
Yes,
museum there in Berrien Springs. We'll also be talking in just a moment with Sarah Spoonholtz from the Greater Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. That is coming up in just a moment right here after we get a quick update on sports.
The Tigers go for a series win against the Giants at Comerica Park tonight after a 3-1 win on Memorial.
All right, it's the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. I mean, so kombucha, ever tried it? Either of you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I drink it. I do.
What's your favorite flavor?
There's a Pink Lady apple one.
Oh, that sounds good.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a cloudy or clear kombucha?
I don't know the answer to that. It's in a brown bottle. I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, it's in the brown bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But I've also had there's one that is a it's not actually a kombucha, but it's like a probiotic water, so it acts similar to kombucha. It's called Karma. That is really good too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the health aspects because it supposedly nourishes your gut.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for me, it which I try to watch my sugar intake. The kombucha eats the sugar, or the SCOBY does. All right, we have to get back on the air. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Showers, a few thunderstorms possible, and we continue with that chance of rain tomorrow as well. High temperatures, though, tomorrow stay in the middle 60s. We'll be in the middle 60s on Thursday as well. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:14, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. It's Tuesday all day long. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. A couple of us here at least did outdoor work to clean up the yards. Rhiannon did indoor work to clean up the house. And so we're all sore and tired today.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
A little sunburnt.
And refreshed from the weekend, though, right? Yeah. Refreshed? Okay. Sunburn as well.
I could take a couple more days, but,
Right.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I mean, we've got summer coming up. That's, it's the WSJM Morning Show, and we're talking with Sarah Spoonholtz from the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber, and we get an update on a regular basis from her. What do you want to talk about this morning?
So we actually have 7 ribbon cuttings between tomorrow and June 18th.
7?
7.
That's such encouraging news.
So, it's really great news. We've got a lot of things going on. Tomorrow's Really excited about it. This is going to be at Bigby Coffee in Berrien Springs.
That's right.
At 3:00. So if you've not been through Berrien Springs, which is right next to Rhiannon's office, please keep in mind the fact that they are doing construction on M139. So please allow yourself some extra time. This will be an outdoor event, so come rain or shine. So dress appropriately for the weather tomorrow. We are supposed to have some showers. But if you haven't had the chance to meet Nikki and her amazing team at the Bigby and Berrien Springs, I highly encourage you to do so, to come out and join us for that. Then we've got the Norma Jean Summer Splash Pad ribbon cutting collaboration with the Coloma Water Elite Chamber and the City of Coloma as well. That'll be happening on Thursday at 4 p.m., which is super exciting. Friday, we've got our 3rd annual completely sold out Wine and Nine golf outing at Pipestone Creek Golf Course. Super excited about that. We've got a list of amazing sponsors, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. You can head to our website to see all of our amazing sponsors that are there.
And it's supposed to be 75 degrees and only partly cloudy that day. So the good weather people have smiled upon you.
Thank goodness.
Knock on
wood.
wood.
Thank goodness. Yes. And then next Monday, we've got Perk Up with Next Gen, 8 a.m., 7:15 a.m. They're getting together to caffeinate at Rising Kites Coffee in Bridgman. If you haven't been there too, highly encourage you to check out Rising Kites Coffee. Danielle, her and her husband, their story, their daughter Sammy, I mean, what they are doing for just Down syndrome awareness and just awareness in general is really, truly amazing and such a beautiful story. And very excited for that. And then Monday afternoon, Thursday. Well, no, Sarah. Then Monday afternoon at 5:00, we're heading over to First Church for their ribbon cutting of the new Commons area. We've also got more, including Armor Physical Therapy. That's later next week. We've got Competitive Edge, their new location for a ribbon cutting and an open house there. True Blue Financials, 1-year anniversary. Zyker Cleaners, their ribbon cutting. I mean, we've got a lot going on. Plus, looking ahead to July, we've got our 65th annual Chamber Golf outing.
Whoa.
So that'll be happening. We do have a golf team registration is available right now, as well as we have some sponsorships too. So if you'd like to get your business in front of people, by all means, reach out to us. And then, we had that small thing, like, $250,000 with the Trusted
Big
Connector
grant. Yes.
Yeah. Which actually, if you looked at the list of award winners, they gave away millions of dollars in this grant. There was one organization that did end up getting $1 million in funding too. So it was anything from 250, I think, was on the lowest end of things, all the way up to $1 million. So we're really excited about that. It's going to allow us to do some really great things for the community here in Southwest Michigan, heavily focusing on our Chamber and Growth Alliances to get them up and running. And we are hiring currently for the central county position. So if you do know somebody who has maybe economic development experience and would like to also work in the chamber aspect and that realm, by all means, you can find the posting on Indeed, LinkedIn, I think our website too, or just reach out to either myself, Jasmine, or Arthur, or Molly. Any of us are happy to get you the job description for it. And it's
do you have to know numbers for that role? As the accountant, you have to know numbers?
I do.
Okay. No.
The
person who's in that role.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you do? Are you applying for that job?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you have to know numbers for it.
Yeah. Well, it's helpful, right? Because you do need to make sure that you're covering like your budget. You do need to make sure that, you're getting the dollars coming in that need to be coming in, that you're helping businesses.
So I'll take my name off that list.
I
like to think I know numbers, but maybe not.
But then what would you do here? You're going to try to pull up Pat Moody?
No,
Dave Deutsch, I am not trying to coach Ken. Please let the record reflect.
All right. Negotiation time with the contract. Here we go. we're laughing because contract schmunk. Yeah, there's no contract. 7:19 is the WSJM morning show. Anything else? That's a lot. You got a ton of stuff going on.
It is. And if you want to see more information, head to our website, smrchamber.com. We've got a ton of other events coming up. You can also check out our next Chamber 101 sessions, which today at noon is our next one.
Wow. What do you learn at those?
You learn about the changes that the chamber has gone through over the last year and a half.
Okay.
But also what you get with your membership and how to utilize it to the best of your ability to get your dollars worth.
So if you've been thinking about it and you want to know more information, just reach out to the chamber, and you can go to their website, smrchamber.com.
And then all the socials and everything. But then with Chamber 101 too, really quick, you also learn about the impact that we have in the community. So it's a good win-win.
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, that's Sarah Spoon-Holtz with the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. Thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
And thank you for once again bringing in Rhiannon Cizon, who's here to talk about not just Pickle Fest this time.
No.
Because you two were here last week to talk about pickles.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's still coming up. The Pickle Fest in Berrien Springs Festival is on July 4th.
Yes.
This year. Full up on the vendors yet? Still have some room?
So I can tell you that no more business or craft vendors. We have really reached our peak on that. We got a few. If you've applied, you will be going through the review process this afternoon, and we'll let you know if you've been accepted.
Okay.
But we are still looking for pickle vendors. You have to have a minimum of a cottage license in Michigan to sell your pickles in the state. We've had a few people reach out. I'm like, no home pickles.
No home pickles. Need a cottage license at least.
If you have received an email from us because you asked for an application as a food truck, please answer your email. I have sent you a reminder. We would love to have you.
If you're if you're a food truck, check your email and you want to be in Berrien Springs for the Pickle Festival, check your email and respond, please.
8,000 people will sell you out. I promise.
Wow.
Ask everyone last year. We sold out all the food vendors last year. We need you. We have people coming. They're going to be hungry.
In just a moment, we will be talking with Rhiannon Cizon. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be talking about the Berrien County Historical Association, what it is, what they do, how you can get involved, all that coming up next.
Would you call free checking that pays you cash back on purchases unbelievable?
You can hang around if you want. We're back on the video live stream.
Yeah, open.
I got to run home and open up some greenhouses.
Open greenhouses?
Yeah.
Why do you have to open greenhouse? Here, back on the microphone, please. You know this. You're radio.
I know. So my mom took a fall on Sunday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Her dog had the zoomies, and my mom weighs 82 pounds. So the dog knocked her down. She hurt her knee. She can't quite get into she can walk around. She's not like nothing broken, but she can't get into the greenhouses to open them, or the greenhouse, I should say. It's a single greenhouse, but I need to run home and do that. And then I forgot to grab my lunch too.
Oh yeah, that's
so I'm gonna make coffee.
Tuesday.
I'm gonna grab my lunch, open those up, all that stuff, and then head into the office. But I would love to stay and talk.
Okay.
Bye guys. It's
Thank
been
you.
fun.
What's in the greenhouse?
We've got tomato and peppers and vegetable starts of all kinds, and my flowers.
Oh, very nice. Your flowers. Very good. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will see you later.
I'll see you later.
See you in 2 weeks.
All right. Wish your mom well. Tell her to watch out for the Zoomy dog. Zoomies are a real thing.
Yeah, they are.
Our dog, Russell, is a Portuguese water dog, and he's coming up on 13 years old, and he's got bad arthritis in the hips.
Right.
He does. And even so, he still gets the Zoomies.
Oh yeah.
He loves them. Do you have dogs?
I do. I have well, we don't know what she is. So I call her a brat terrier. She's a little
brat.
Yeah, she was. I adopted her, and the shelter said that she was a Jack Russell mix.
Oh.
And then was talk about maybe she was a rat terrier. She's got the coloring of a rat terrier, and then there was talk about maybe she has beagle in her. So we don't know what she is. But she's a brat.
Okay.
She's only like 22 pounds, and that dog's got more sass in her than is necessary. She does not like people. She does not. Well, I mean, she don't bite people, but she's always barking at them. She doesn't like people. She's high strung. She's like her mother in that way.
We'll put a pin in that. Get you some dog therapy. It's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Massey's Towing, the trucks with the red, white, and blue.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:24 is the time. It's Tuesday, May 27th. 53 degrees in Benton Harbor, cloudy skies, 53 in St. Joseph, 51 in South Haven. Chance of precipitation later on today, and about a 40% chance of showers developing. Breezy conditions, high around 72 inland, a little cooler by the lake, and we have that wind to contend with about 25 miles per hour. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Thank you very much for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. My guest this hour, Rhiannon Cizon, Executive Director for the Berrien County Historical Association. Hi, Rhiannon. It's good to see you back.
Yes.
Last week you were here. Yes, absolutely. Last week you were here for pickles.
Yes.
Today you're here for much more.
Yes.
The Berrien County Historical Association. For those who don't know, give us a brief primer on what is the Berrien County Historical Association.
So we were established in 1967 to preserve and save the 1839 county courthouse, which is the oldest county courthouse in the state of Michigan and one of the top 3 oldest in the Great Lakes region.
The oldest in the state of Michigan?
Yes.
That's a great fact.
So we can say that over Detroit.
Yeah, very good.
Not what I was going to say, but I got to be professional.
We have more justice here. All right, keep going.
And so over time, the organization evolved to also reunite what had been the fractured courthouse square, which included the 1870 sheriff's residence and the 1860-1873 records building, which became a reality. And today we operate 1.6 acres that include 5 buildings, those 3 that I mentioned, plus the 1830 Murdoch log cabin. It's the oldest 2-story log cabin in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
Yes, and the 4th oldest residence still standing in the state. And then the modified 1950 Adventist Auxiliary Building is now Bennett's Forge, has been since the 70s. And 4 of the 5, the records building is not open about, but the others are, and we operate this on behalf of the county. County owns a property. They pay us to steward it because we have the collections, we have the staff, we have the knowledge, the experience.
Yeah.
And so we've been running as a museum since 1975, which means this is the 50th anniversary for the museum this year.
Wow. Congratulations.
We made it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of our peers who did not survive COVID. Small museums are the first to get whacked in economic downturns, and we are the last to recover. Bigger museums are flashier. They have the staff. They have the endowment to survive those swings. We don't. So the fact that we survived COVID, we survived years of decline, and we're still here to celebrate our 50th is hallelujah.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's testament.
We're still here.
That's testament to the value placed in the association and the museum. How were you able to survive that downturn, especially COVID, when others weren't?
So, I mean, I don't want to sit there and say it was only me, but it really was, because I worked through COVID. We were able to hire staff thanks to a PPP loan. I had a previous curator, she left, and then we hired in her place. And so we kept the staff, kind of in place, but we kept going. We, like a lot of museums, switched to online things and try to keep people aware. And so we were because we were doing mostly online stuff, it meant the cost that we were spending on programs was down to a bare minimum.
Yeah.
And that helped. The PPP loan also helped. We received grants from the state through Michigan Humanities. There were pass-through funds from federal on that, and that helped, offset costs, especially into like year 2 or year 3 when, things are starting to rise, but not for us, right? Not nearly for us. So that did help offset costs. Of course, we fundraised and we kept people aware. And I think the bigger surprise is because we had been in the doldrums for a very, very long time. I mean, we'd been forgotten. We did a strategic plan. This was before my time, but we did a strategic plan in 2018. And in one of the sessions, they said, we didn't even know you were open.
Oh.
And we've been around by this point, 40 some years.
Right.
And we'd been forgotten because we had forgotten our way. We had gotten to the point where we fell into the pattern what some small historical societies and associations tend to do, which is, it's hard to spend a lot of money to promote and get new people to come in.
And people know we're here.
Right. Well, yeah, they all just assumed because, they remember, they came in the 4th grade, right? They were going to the courthouse in the 4th grade.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is you go where people come, you invest the money where people. The problem is, though, is you find yourself condensing to the point that you're a shadow of your former self. Right? You're only talking like 3 subjects because that's where everyone came from. That's the only ones that were attracted. And if you brought in something else and it failed, you got burned, you didn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
So I had to take the risk of just start throwing darts at the wall. And I've been, over the last, it'll be 6 years in August since I arrived. In the last 6 years, even with COVID, we have done 25 exhibits and about 160 programs.
Wow.
To be very fair, a lot of those programs were underperforming.
Okay.
And there was even some programs nobody ever showed up for. But the point is to do things and to show people we were doing things and trying to get, people who'd forgotten that we were there, realizing that our job is as the County Historical Association. Yeah. We are not Berrien Springs. We are located in Berrien Springs, but we service every corner of this county. All 155,000 residents, we are your museum. Yeah. We are friends and partners with North Berrien, they were formerly the New Buffalo Railroad Museum. They just announced they've renamed as the Harbor Country Museum of History and Rail. You've got the Morton House Museum, the Heritage, whatever they're doing, they're still a historical organization. Yeah. Niles History Center, Galen Woods Historical Society, and the Region of Three Oaks Museum. Those are all our partners. And so what we are is we're the introduction to the county. And if you want the details, if this was a book, you're reading our chapter first. You want to know about Coloma and Waterville, you go see Peter and them at North Berrien. They will give you more information than you can shake a leg at. Yeah. You want to know all about how Three Oaks was the center of the corset world, you go talk to Nick Boggart and them at Region of Three Oaks. But our job is not just to preserve that history, it's to share that history and then get people to engage in that history. So we do exhibits, we do programs, we do partnerships, we do things off-site, on-site, and our bigger problem, like I said, is people had forgotten about us. And I kept feeling like I was failing at my job because I'd have all these programs and maybe we'd have free concerts at the museum on the grounds and I get like 15 people. Everyone else can charge.
That's challenging.
And I get like free concert right there on the grounds. Just put out a blanket, enjoy yourself. Yeah. And so it's so sad because we have a beautiful grounds for that to work with. And I feel so bad for everyone who ever came, but I do appreciate it. Yeah. So we found ourselves, I had to reassess and I was like, what is going on? And the old adage is that the mountain does not come to Muhammad. Muhammad must go to the mountain. The problem is Muhammad can't go to the mountain if he doesn't know there's a dang mountain range to go to. And so, theoretically, you would think as our 50th anniversary, we're doing all this stuff on site. But if I want to reach 2075, our 100th anniversary, which seems like a
eternity
nebulous
away
idea, I got to get back out into the community. And I've been I would not say remiss. I've been attached to the museum for the last 5.5 years, deeply renovating the property, gutting and updating and modernizing, because that's what you deserve. That's what this county deserves, is a good modern museum that showcases and highlights and shares the history. We are a place where we celebrate, where we encourage you to think, where we face the toughest parts of our past together so that we can overcome it and learn from it, and where we can share everything that we share. Every experience we have may be different from somebody else, but we have a combined past that we deserve to celebrate together. That's what we do, and that's what we had forgotten. And now that we have fixed a lot of these problems, not all of them, but most of them, now it's time for me to come back out in the community saying, hey, we're here for you. And if you love history, if there are things that you are passionate about, then we're the place to come find it.
On that note, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back. It's good to have people with passion about it. No, that's excellent.
You thought I told you didn't see nearly as much energy from me last week. You're getting it this week.
We're talking with Rhiannon Cizon. She's the executive director at the Berrien County, don't call me Berrien Springs Historical Association. Berrien County Historical Association. 7:33, back with more on that in just a moment. It's WSJM.
The Bloomberg Business Minute on WSJM.
Wow. Out of the gate. Both barrels.
Well, and I think it scares a lot of people because, I am the youngest director they've had in about 20 years. And so, and the last one they had at my age range was he was a very chill guy. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's go.
Well, you mentioned the 2018 survey. It sounds like it was a survey to go out and find out what the perception was, what people were thinking.
And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I describe it as a curb stomping because, it was a strategic plan. We had the sessions, we met with the stakeholders. Yeah. And one of the, we had done some preliminary, questions. Our members like, yes, we love it. It's great. People were attending our programs. They loved it because it was programs.
You were basically, but you were talking to the choir and they were singing the tune that you gave them back.
Liz Mullen.
Sorry. Timing issue. We've got to get back. We'll come back. We'll continue that because I want to hear that story unfold in just a moment. Because I think a lot of organizations do that. They only hear the voices that they think are going to complement what they do. All right, we got to get back on the air. It's WSJM.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Oh my goodness, if you're missing the video live stream right now, you're missing a lot because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're talking with Rhiannon Cizon. She's the executive director at the Berrien County Historical Association, and she really feels the weight of her role. I can tell you that because they're talking about the Berrien County Historical Association celebrating 50 years this year, but also
the museum.
Oh, the museum,
is
excuse me.
celebrating 50.
The museum is celebrating 50 years.
We're going to be 60 years here in 2027.
How is the association older than the museum?
Well, because we exist, most of them started as just simple historical societies.
Oh,
And
okay.
The museum itself took some time to evolve because they had to renovate the building,
Oh,
the
yeah.
courthouse first.
That makes
And
sense.
once they realized that they were able to go in that direction, then they began to seriously consider becoming stewards of history through a physical museum. And they had started doing a lot of the museum work, like the exhibits and stuff like that, as early as 73.
Okay.
But 75 is when the last of the permanent exhibits were done. They had just purchased the sheriff's residence and the cabin was ready to go. So that's why we consider 75 our anniversary year, when we shifted from just being a historical society to being stewards of a museum.
Got it. Okay. More with that in just a moment. We've got a couple.
This is too early.
No, this is good. This is good. We've got more to talk about in just a couple of minutes. We've had the Bloomberg Market Minute. We're going to have the latest world and national news right now from ABC, a preview of the news we're covering in the WSJM newsroom. Do you have any WSJM exhibits in the museum?
Not yet.
We should.
You should.
We got a lot of stuff.
We'll take it.
All right, we'll talk about it. It's 7:36.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Thousands of people at a victory parade for Liverpool's win in the Premier League Championship when a 53-year-old man, police say, plowed his minivan into them. More than 45 people were hurt. However, says ABC's Ian Pannell,
the police very clearly saying that at this point in time, they don't believe that it was terrorism. They don't believe anyone else was involved in this. I guess the key questions for them now is what led up to this in the first place? What was the trigger, if indeed this wasn't a deliberate attack, as appears to be the case right now?
In Philadelphia, 2 people were killed. Several more were hurt after a mass shooting in the city's Fairmount Park that happened last night. 2 of the 10 escaped New Orleans jail inmates are still on the loose. 3 of them were captured on Monday. Today's the last day to book a flight on Southwest Airlines without being hit with a $35 fee to check your bag. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:37 coming up at 8 o'clock. Some of the news that we're covering from the WSJM Newsroom today. After years in the making and more than a handful of public fundraisers, the new playground at Silver Beach County Park in St. Joseph is open. It opened in time for Memorial Day weekend. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up at 8 o'clock. The Michigan Department of Transportation is holding another open house for the public so they can share their plans, the plans they're helping to develop with input from people around here as well, on how they reconstruct Main Street in downtown St. Joseph. We know we've seen a lot of input, feedback back and forth on the parking situation. Well, now they're going to reconstruct Main Street. They're not going to have anything to do with the parking stuff there. It's MDOT says, nope, that's not us, that's the city, and they want to have a meeting about it. So they'll talk about that. That's coming up. We'll tell you more about that at 8 o'clock this morning. And also, Berrien County government will be able to keep a little bit more money in its coffers this year than previously thought, thanks to an error discovered by a county official. About $300,000 worth of error discovered. So we'll talk about those stories and more at 8 o'clock this morning right here on the WSJM Morning Show. 7:39, we've got more. We're going to continue our conversation on the video live stream. We're talking with Rhiannon Cizon from the Berrien County Historical Association. That's coming up right now. Right now on the radio here, we'll have sports right after a look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
Okay. All right, so we were talking about the survey that went out. The strategic plan, and as you went out in 2018, you were finding out that there was curb stomping happening.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So our strategic plan needed to happen, and Liz Mullenbeck, who's a professor of business at Andrews University and was our then president, smart woman, she says, no, we're going to do a real strategic plan, which meant we had what's called stakeholder interviews. So we looked at government officials like Berrien Springs, because we are obviously a tourist attraction in Berrien Springs. We're also a county park in Berrien Springs, so that's something they had to be considered. Obviously, county officials, because the county owns the property. We had our members, we had volunteers, we had teachers, we had members of the community, and it was like, we don't see you as a resource. We don't see you as a partner. I didn't even know you were open. I mean, it was brutal, but it needed to be heard, because honestly, without that strategic plan, you and I would not be talking.
Okay.
Now, my predecessor planned on retiring in 2019. She's like, I hit 70, I'm retiring. Get me out of here. I'm going to go and I'm moving back north. I'm going to go live with my brother and enjoy the family farm. So with that in mind, they needed someone who was willing to do the work. And it is very clear to anyone who's watching this or listening to me that I have seamlessly boundless energy.
Testify.
I am very overwhelming. I am the first person to tell you that. And so I, then it was like, all right, there's a lot of problems. Let's get them fixed. Let's drag this organization into the 21st century. Let's modernize things so it's easier for our staff to do stuff, easier for people who interact with us to do things. And more importantly, our strategic plan said we need to figure out how to be intergenerational. We need to figure out how to work with the public. And all of these are things that lead to things like financial stability. You're not going to donate to an organization you don't know about or don't trust, but you are going to donate to an organization you know and trust, especially when they show stability and turnaround in that money. If you give me $50, that $50 is going to go right back into the museum, and you're going to visually see it.
Yeah.
I'm very open with people. If you follow us on, if you get our emails, I have a letter in there, and sometimes I'm brutally honest. I'm like, it was a really bad month, guys, but we survived.
Oh no.
But people need to be aware of it, because we see it all the time when businesses try to hide bad things.
Sure.
It blows
Put
up
on a
in their
happy face. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can't. You see the cracks. So it was a good thing for us, because it forced us to go back to our mission and say, what are we doing to meet our mission? So a couple of the things that, obviously there was a lot of operational things I had to fix. I'm still fixing, but we're better. But also expanding it, because we had gotten into this habit of only like a handful of subjects when there's so much more history in this county. We're talking 200. I mean, even if we don't take into consideration anything prior to 1837, we still have 200 years worth of history.
I was going to ask, what's your scope? When you talk about history, what are you talking about?
We primarily focus on the county really from the 1830s to today.
Okay.
We do reference back previous to the 1830s. So you, of course, had Fort St. Joseph and Fort Miami, and of course, the Pokagon have been here forever. So we do talk further back than that. But for the scope of our collections and the topics we talk about, we stick in that kind of 200 and some years.
Okay.
Around a little, not quite 200. It's not 2030 yet. So around 200 years, because North Niles History Center does a great job with the Fort St. Joseph project, really talking about that pre-county history really, really, really well. Okay. So we don't want to step on their toes, because if they're doing it, we can't reinvent the wheel.
Why?
They can. So our focus is the county, and we are missing a lot of stuff in our collections. If you go to our website, berrienhistory.org, under our collections, we have a list of things that we're missing.
Okay.
A lot of gaps we're discovering, and it is embarrassing, because we've been around. The organization's been around for almost 60 years. There are communities we don't have things for, events we don't have things for. It's a long list, and that was something we had to contend with, because if people didn't know we didn't have it, then number one, we're never going to get it. And number two, how are we going to help people who call us to do research? We get calls all the time for research. Do you have this? Nope, sorry.
Yeah.
We don't. So, so we're talking a revamping of the organization and really embodying and embracing the totality of our mission, which is the whole county.
I'm looking here. I see artifact donations on your website. Let's see, government resources, area library, items not collecting, items of interest, areas of interest. Where can I find the shopping list?
The shopping. So areas of interest, these are areas that we are needing topics in. They are, so we have like social groups, we have communities, we have events, businesses, education. items of interest go into more detail of what we can and cannot take. We are very limited in our space right now.
Okay.
If anyone's got $2 million and want to give it to me, I need it for my collections. I got to redo that records. Oh, the county's got 300,000. Maybe they can help.
Hey, there you go. They found
to
it.
help us. We can expand if we were able to renovate the records building. That would give us expansion. Right now, we're kind of stymied on taking bigger items because of spacing. But there's still a ton of small things that we still need. And then items that we're not collecting, these are items that we have no need for.
Mm-hmm.
The number one thing that we don't take is anything that's not from Berrien County.
Okay.
Unless we think it's representational of something that we can't get quite yet.
Yeah.
But we're having issues right now where we have a lot of things on our shelves that should not be here. We actually just pulled a lot of military items that were war trophies. Like, I know you loved your Peepaw, but we don't need his war trophies.
Yeah.
Give me his ribbons. Give me his medals. Give me his certificates. Give me his letters. Give me his that stuff. Not even that. That's where the history is at.
Oh, yeah.
It is not. And, we've got. Oh.
Nope, you're fine. 1 second. We've got to get back on the air here. We're talking with Rhiannon Cizon. It's the Berrien County Historical Association. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tonight, we'll drop down to 55 with scattered showers, a few thunderstorms possible, and we continue with that chance of rain tomorrow as well. High temperatures, though, tomorrow stay in the middle 60s. We'll be in the middle 60s on Thursday as well. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Pujol.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
7:46. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I was just giving Rhiannon the warning. We've got time limitations here. No. We got. Let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update. Then we'll make sure that we get everything in that we want to talk about today. With the Berrien County Historical Association. Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And as part of our Moody on the Market update, we talk about business updates. We talk about life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. We also talk about interesting people you should know. And I know we hit at least two of those three buckets.
Right.
Because, this is life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here.
Exactly.
And then interesting people you should know.
I was going to say. There's people on the road right now going, this woman is way too energetic for 7:47 in the morning.
Rhiannon is the executive director at the Berrien County Historical Association, and we're talking a lot about kind of the where your place is in sharing all of Berrien County's history.
Right.
And you focus on almost the last 200 years, basically 1830 forward.
Yep.
And you're looking for certain donations. There are areas of interest, items of interest, and then there are also items that you're not collecting at the History Association, the museum. What's its formal name?
So our formal name for the museum is the History Center at Courthouse Square. But
History Center at Courthouse Square
are going to know as the 1839 Courthouse Museum.
Okay.
We are also a county park. Bless the county parks. We kind of got
Put in
handed
there.
off to them in 2014, and they took us. And enjoy us, and we love Jill and the maintenance crew, and we love them all. But
and you're located right there at the corner where the road bends.
No, we're actually on Cass Street, next door to the library in Berrien.
It's right there where the thing
If
turns.
you are driving down Cass Street and cannot see this 3-story tall white Greek Revival building, then I'm a little concerned because you're not paying attention. No.
Yes. So you and what are your hours and days of operation?
So if you want to come visit us, we're open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are closed on certain holidays or observed. Like, for example, we're closed Sunday for observed holiday. Where admission is $5 per person. If you are a BCHA member, if you are a Berrien County Parks Pass holder, or a child 5 years and younger, you have to be physically 5 years and younger, not mentally 5 years and younger. You do get in for free. Included in your admission is anything that we have going on at the museum exhibit wise. Right now, we are not doing anything exhibits because we're doing a review, a much needed review of our collections and archives. But you can watch our staff work and see us, see how we do things at the museum. Also included in that admission on the 4th Saturday of the month is Ask a Curator. So if you ever wondered how you can preserve your history, our staff will be on hand to be able to answer it. So it's a living lab kind of situation.
Okay.
We also currently have, it's the summer's here, so our story trail at the museum is up. Our first one is the Curious Polka Dot Present. It's aimed at younger children. We will have something for older kids a little later this summer. And Sherry Hallwood is a Niles author. So we're very excited to have
Okay.
a local author featured. So like a story trail, you go visit each of the buildings and they are numbered so you know which direction to go. And so we are also home to Pickle Festival, and we
Yes.
host a lot of events and programs. But we are moving away from the museum a little bit this year to go back out into the community. As we said, the whole Muhammad issue of he doesn't know there's a mountain range. So we're coming to you.
Okay.
And to be very fair, part and parcel of what we should be doing is going out into the community and not, like I said, I've been kind of trapped at the museum doing renovations. I mean, people have been generous enough to give us money for renovations, but not enough to hire people. So we've had to do all the physical work ourselves.
Okay.
I think I've given myself tennis elbow 3 times in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just quit and become a painter. Maybe that's my goal. Anyway, so we're going out into the community. We do have some things on site, like, for example, we had our bunny hunt in April, which was kind of an Easter egg style hunt.
Not hunting rabbits.
No, oh my God, they're not live rabbits for the love of God. Someone asked me that question last year. I'm like, I've been doing this like 3-4 years now. And it says in all the descriptions, plastic rabbits.
Okay.
And then of course we're very busy in October. We have made October a lot of other organizations do like Christmas, and so we didn't want to kind of step on their toes. So we do fireside tales, that is ghost stories in front of the fire in the cabin.
Yeah.
We have Soups and Spirits. We've partnered with Twin City Players on both of those. We love Scott Bradford for thinking, he's like, yeah, this is a great idea. So Soups and Spirits is a combination dinner theater experience. So we have a soup buffet.
Oh, fun.
Because it's October. You can't have, gotta have soup.
Absolutely.
So soup buffet, and then afterwards performances from some of Twin City Players' finest that are featured, like one acts and poems and improv, all about spooky things.
Yeah.
We do trick-or-treating on the grounds on Halloween. So we, when kids come through the town, they come through. So we're always looking for volunteers for that. And then we have 2 events that we have added in October this year. Details are forthcoming, but we do want to get it out there. We are doing a night with in Old Gay Paris with Golden East Winery in Baroda.
Nice.
Mid-October, we have a tentative date for that. Annalise, I promise I will call. We will set this up. And we will have a wine and paint night at Deblon. Karen and April and I are still working on dates for that.
Okay.
We will also have what we call paint and a Gatorade. So that will be for
paint
teens.
in the Gatorade.
And a Gatorade.
Oh, paint and a Gatorade.
I have the worst enunciation you ever gets as a competitive speaker as a teenager.
Oh, goodness.
So that will be also a kind of a paint. It's a paint and wine.
Okay.
Paint and Gatorade.
Oh,
so
very
that'll
nice.
be for teenagers,
Okay.
13 to 18. Dates are still forthcoming on that. Our 7th annual Day of the Dead altar will be going up October 1st. And then, of course, our big thing this year is our Drink with History series.
Oh.
If you don't drink, this is still a series for you because we do make non-alcoholic options available. So what we are doing is we're going to different wineries, breweries, and distilleries around the county. And to their credit, these places are like, yes, this is a wonderful idea. And a super shout out to Lauren at Lazy Ballerina, because she gave us the opportunity to try this out last year.
Yeah.
And it works. So
what happens at one of those events?
So your ticket includes, for the most part, usually a flight, curated flight to match the talk we're talking about. The lecture, we include food in there. We put together little food boxes that, we make like vegetarian options available and this, that, and the other. And then we have a little pop-up gift shop. So we bring pieces of our gift shop to this talk that are related to that talk. So the next one is, this registration is open for this. We still got plenty of spots. If you are interested in mid-century anything, this is the talk for you. Join us at Local Pour and Sawyer. Shelley and them are super excited about this. We're going to talk mid-century food.
Oh, okay.
So if you've ever wondered why mid-century food looked and tasted and was the way it was.
What's an example of mid-century food?
Jell-O.
Oh,
your Jell-O salads, your like your weenie, your beanie weenies and all that.
The stuff that you find in your mom or your grandma's cookbook.
Exactly.
Okay. Right.
So we are bringing food historian Ellie Carlson from Chicago, and she is going to do, we're doing a special double flight for this.
Okay.
So you're getting 5 wines, and they're super excited because they got some new wines they want to showcase in this event, and a food flight. So they're all paired together, and they are recipes. Actually, no, there is no Jell-O. There is no fluff. There is no Cool Whip.
Okay.
But they are, I can tell you 4 of the 5 right now for the menu is post office appetizer, That came from our collections, a recipe book in our collection.
Post office appetizer.
I don't even know what's in it.
Okay.
I just know it's there. She chose it. Dilly bread, which was from our collection.
Okay.
Hamburger agarosa, which was a really popular recipe at the time. And then we know one of the desserts is going to be the berry. We don't know. We had to replace it. It was originally supposed to be brownies. She's going to do berries. So she's got to get me the recipe. And then the final one is flying saucers. It's a cookie that was also came from our collection. And I love it because the woman who submitted that recipe to that recipe book is Barb Radewald, who's been a longtime supporter of the museum.
Nice.
So kind of nice to be able to do that.
When is that event?
That's going to be June 10th.
Okay.
At 6. Doors open at 6. You got about a half hour social hour if you want to get anything. You have to pay for anything you want outside of the flight. We will also have a smaller snack box since we've got the food flight. I know it's not going to be for everything. We wouldn't want to go home empty-handed.
Tickets in advance?
Tickets are in advance because there's only 30 seats available.
Okay.
I don't know
how do they get them? How do you get your tickets?
You go to our website, berrienhistory.org, go under our calendar of events, and we have an accordion style for all of our events. And the first one they'll pop up is A Drink with History. We should be opening soon our July event, which is Classic Restaurants of Machina with Jane Ameson, the author and writer. And that's going to be at Lemon Creek, July 12th. We're taking August off. If you are a House of David fan, come see us at Lazy Ballerina.
Yeah.
September 11th with Brian Carroll. I'm sorry, Dr. Brian Carroll.
Okay.
Of the House of David. He'll be talking about High Island, which is probably one of the least researched parts of their history. October, join us at Iron Shoe Distillery in Niles for Haunted Berrien County with Dan Holroyd of Southwest Michigan Paranormal. And then hopefully I still have space because I have not talked to her and confirmed the space, but we're planning on being at Four Winds Casino in November with Dr. Blair Morceau with her book about Simon Pokagan's Birch Bark books.
You are getting around all of Berrien County.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe I should start writing these miles off on my taxes.
We're going to come back and wrap up this interview in one moment or two. We've got a couple of messages, but first off, this was the Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We're talking with Rhiannon Cizon from the Berrien County Historical Association. Back to wrap this up in just a moment.
Rich Brand and Derek Halsey of IMS Insurance.
All right. I'm sure you can understand as an executive director, we got to pay the bills with some ads here. So
you're fine.
We're running a couple commercials, but in the meantime, we're still on the video live stream. Again, would you run through two things? Number one, where can people find out more information and get hooked up with these events?
Yep.
And then number two, if people have things they think, hey, this would be good for the Berrien County Historical Association, where should they vet that through? Because you've got a couple of good lists here.
Yeah. So for events and our lists and all that, you go to our website, berrienhistory.org. We just launched a new one in January. It's much more simplified. And it does have a search feature this time. So I'm very excited about
nice.
that.
Is it a good search feature?
I don't know. I haven't tried it because I'm always on the back end fixing
Okay.
things. So if you're wanting to donate items to the BCHA, please do so. You can contact us at info@berrienhistory.org, or you can contact us at 269-471-1202. You'll want to talk to John Moga, my curator. I may answer the question, and 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yes. But there's always that one I'm like, no. If you're not sure if your item would be accepted, we do have a criteria list on our page under the collections of the questions that you should ask yourself before you bring that stuff. Is it local? Is it in good condition? Is it as complete as possible? Do we have provenance on it? We do not, anything that is left on our property is considered abandoned, and we will do whatever we want with it. We could sell it. We can turn it.
So don't just drop it off and think.
Correct.
It's going to be cared for.
We need to have history. That's part. And that's a part we probably have with a lot of our collections, and a lot of it, what we do have isn't even Berrien County.
Okay. 1 second here. We're going to get back on the radio, wrap this up, and continue with the WSJM Morning Show. Hang on 1 second.
Feel at ease with McGee's. Call today for your estimate. Feel at ease with McGee's. Southwest Michigan's Bryant dealer.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Okay, we're going to wrap up this interview with Rhiannon Cizon on the Berrien County Historical Association. Quick pitch, go.
We survive through donations. If you are interested in having your history preserved for future generations, we encourage you to donate to the History Center at Courthouse Square. You can do so by going to our website, berrienhistory.org, or dropping off your donations here at the museum. We're running our Nifty 50 campaign to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We are encouraging donations of $50. If you don't think $50 won't go far, then I can tell you that it will.
Where can people donate?
Go to berrienhistory.org right there on the front page.
Rhiannon Cizon, it's been a hyperspeed hour. Thank you. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News.